Investigators reveal new details about the death of a young girl who lost her life in an accidental shooting.
A water main break in Lexington sends water shooting 30 feet over a busy road. We'll have the latest on the traffic impact coming up.
There's a look outside. Still cloudy skies. You'll see those break up just a bit. You get a little sunshine here and there. Can't rule out a straight chance of rain, but we'll get into that forecast. I'll show you really nice weather coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT. I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. We're learning some new details now about a shooting that has claimed the life of a 12-year-old girl.
The Boyd County coroner says the young girl was helping her family move into their new home in Catlettsburg when she was somehow shot. WKYT's Victor Puente spoke directly to the coroner and the police handling the investigation. He's in the WKYT newsroom with details on what he's learned. It's our top story at noon. Victor?
The Boyd County coroner tells me they believe this was a tragic accident, one that took the life of a 7th grader and is still under investigation. Coroner Mark Hammond has identified the young girl as Haley Marshall. He says the 12-year-old was helping her family move into their home on 28th Street in Catlettsburg. He says while they were moving, a shotgun somehow discharged, hitting and killing the girl. Her family tells us she just entered the 7th grade at Boyd County Middle School. The victim's grandfather said Marshall was helping her brother. He says she was taking items out of a truck when the gun may have gotten caught on a strap, causing it to go off.
It's an accident. He just started to take a gun out of the truck and it went off, he said. He said he hooked on the seat or something is what they're saying.
The coroner says there was nothing suspicious about her death. He said they don't believe any drugs or alcohol were involved. Her body was taken to Frankfurt for an autopsy. In the newsroom, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. And the coroner says Marshall's body should be back in Boyd County by this afternoon when they'll release the final results of that autopsy. The suspects behind an early morning shooting in Lexington are still on the run. Police got multiple reports of shots being fired on Haggard Court near North Broadway and I-75. Officers found a man with a gunshot wound to the leg behind the Red Roof Inn there. They did recover some shell casings at the scene, and people in that area were also able to give police a limited description of the shooters.
We have some new information here at noon about a search for a body in the Kentucky River. Lexington police tell us they will not be searching again today near the Valley View Ferry. They went out there yesterday after getting a tip about a body possibly being in the river there. Hours of searching did not turn up anything. Police tell us they will not go back out unless some new information and credible information comes forward in the case. Well, is the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington finally ready to move forward? That's the big question many of you have been asking us since the city's announcement on Friday that a third-party backer was in place. This morning, WKYT's Sean Moody caught up with Lexington Mayor Jim Gray to ask some details about the plan. Sean is downtown now with the mayor's response. Sean?
Well, the details are still pretty hard to come by today. The city said last week it had reached an agreement in principle with the Centerpoint developers and this new third-party developer, but this week a lot of people are still wondering who is this new developer and what's the plan. 90-day period for this third-party developer to look over the project with the current developers ended last week. A city attorney said that the developers had reached an agreement in principle with this mystery third party to move forward with the development. Now, since that announcement, there's been no new information. There's no indication of who the new developer is, what their role will be, or what the role of the web companies will be. The city attorney said some details could be released this week, but so far things are quiet.
I hope we'll be able to share more information shortly. We all know that this project is on everybody's lens of attention, and that's a good thing because that shows that people care about their city.
Now, I put in a call late this morning to Dudley Webb to see what information, if any, he could give so far on the project. I'm still waiting to hear back. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Businesses around the Centerpoint block told us last week that they were excited to see the deal potentially move forward.
Well, it could be days before people living in one Lexington apartment building are allowed back into their homes. They were forced out overnight because of a raw sewage leak. all of the units at the Fairway Apartments on Pimlico Parkway were evacuated last night. It's not clear what caused the sewage to back up, but firefighters were able to isolate the problem to the ground floor. People living in 2 of the apartments were not allowed back inside. Well, it was water and a lot of it that left a mess along a busy Lexington road.
Police have now reopened Stone Road near Pasadena Drive after a water main break closed that street for hours in the south end of Lexington this morning. WKYT's Mark Barber shows us the break sent water spraying 30 feet up into the air.
The woman who lives across the street from the water main break says it made for quite an unusual wake-up call. She says around 5:30 this morning, she thought what she heard was rain. She says it wasn't until she stepped outside that she realized there was water spewing from the ground, almost like a geyser. The large water spout shoots up about 30 feet.
You can tell that it's going to impact the traffic quite a bit.
The normally busy Stone Road was closed for hours, and those who live nearby are without water. Crews are working to figure out what caused the water to break through a 12-inch hole in the water main.
It looks like a glacier or something. I don't know. It's just like a tremendous amount of water coming out of the ground, and it's hitting the power lines.
Kentucky American water crews say they are putting chemicals onto the road because the water that gushed onto the street will now spill into creeks in the area. The chemicals will keep the water from harming anything in those streams.
It's a lot of water coming out. Luckily, school doesn't start today.
Crews say they are still trying to figure out where the water main broke. They say once they find that, they'll repair it and then work to get service restored for those who are still without water. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
And Kentucky American Water is telling us that they are still trying to figure out how many people are without water.
Today will be the first in a stretch of nice weather days. Some places might see a stray shower, but for the most part, things will be dry. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with an early look at the forecast. Micah?
Well, I think today is just that slight chance of rain like you were just talking about, but after today, it looks really nice. Let's dive into what we're talking about at this very moment. First Alert Defender live radar. The thunderstorm is now off in Virginia. A couple of showers here and there down toward the southeast. As we talked about this morning, southeastern zones, you're going to have the best bet of rain, and it's only still a very small chance. Central and northern zones, you could still have a passing shower as we go throughout the afternoon. Temperatures are there in the mid to upper 70s. Finally getting those clouds kind of separate just a bit. It won't separate fully, but a bit. So watch out for a passing shower. Maybe even a rumble of thunder, but most of this will just be some shower activity at about 82 degrees. Most of it down toward the southeast. Early fall temperatures are on the way, and I'll show you that, how low we go with these temperatures, coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in just a little bit, Micah. Thank you. A Kentucky teenager is fighting for his life this afternoon after he was hit by a train. That happened yesterday in Elizabethtown. Witnesses told investigators that the boy was walking along the tracks with headphones on when the train hit him. At least one driver who saw what was going on, it was about to happen, honked his horn to try to warn the teen, but the boy did not hear it. He was flown to a Louisville hospital with severe head trauma. The railway was shut down for a while, but has since reopened. Funeral services for a Kentucky state trooper killed in a crash are set to begin within the hour. Sergeant David Gibbs died on Friday in a weather-related car accident. Friends say he was on his way to his grandmother's funeral at the time. His funeral service will be at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Severns Valley Baptist Church in Elizabethtown. According to friends of Gibbs, his father was also a KSP trooper. Gibbs will be laid to rest in a uniform that contains buttons from his father's KSP uniform.
The Transportation Department is reminding drivers about a project that could slow traffic on Lexington's busiest roadway. Road crews are blasting along the inner loop between Versailles Road and Old Frankfort Pike. All blasting will take place between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. each day through Friday. Crews will have to temporarily stop traffic each time they set off a blast. The speed limit in that area has also been lowered to 45 miles per hour. Now, this is all part of an ongoing widening project on New Circle Road.
Well, the battle among the Republicans running for a shot at becoming the next president continues to heat up.
And Kentucky's junior senator is taking a swipe at the front runner. You'll hear his comments next.
More protests marking the anniversary of Michael Brown's death. I'm Don Champion in Ferguson, Missouri, with a look at the effect the protests are having on nearby businesses.